And the first thing that happens, usually, is the love scene.
Diane Lane leans back in her chair, her trademark smile lighting up the room, that irresistible mix of mystery and mischief that's made audiences fall in love with her for decades. The interviewer smiles, sensing a story coming, and Diane chuckles softly. "You really want me to answer that?" She teases, her eyes flashing with that familiar spark. At 60, I've learned that honesty can be a little dangerous, especially when it comes to handsome men. The room fills with laughter, but when she speaks again, her tone dips into that smoky, confessional rhythm that has always drawn people in. "I've spent my whole life surrounded by beautiful, talented men," she admits. "Some too young, some too perfect, all just out of reach. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about it. But I'm a lady," she adds with a wink that says she's only half kidding. Then, after a pause, she smiles knowingly. "There's a difference between fantasy and action. And trust me, the fantasy is the better part. You get to keep the mystery. You get to keep the thrill." Her laugh is warm and low. "But," she says, leaning forward, "there were 6 men who made me forget my lines, my cool, and maybe a few of my morals. I never crossed the line," she adds slyly, "but I thought about it more than once." The first name she mentions is Richard Gere, and just saying it makes her grin widen. "Richard," she says softly, "you can't really work with him and not talk about chemistry. It's in the eyes, the stillness, that calm confidence. When we started Unfaithful, he was all grace and composure. I thought, this'll be easy. Then he looked at me during our first read-through, and I completely lost my place on the page." She laughs, shaking her head. "He has this way of making you feel seen. Not watched, but seen. It's disarming. And when you spend months pretending to be in love with someone like that, the line between acting and feeling gets thin?" She smiles wistfully. "By the time we did Nights in Rodanthe, it felt like continuing a conversation we'd never finished. The teasing, the comfort, the trust. It made the work real. Working with Richard was like standing next to a warm fire. You don't mean to get close, but it pulls you in. Then there's Kevin Costner." Diane laughs before she even starts. "Kevin," she sighs, "that man could make standing still look heroic." She recalls filming Let Him Go. He walked on set, hat in hand, that slow, steady look. It's not showy. It's just this quiet strength that draws you in. He listens, really listens, and that changes how you speak your lines. That's chemistry you can't fake. She smiles. He teases you without a word. You'll be mid-scene, trying to stay focused, and he'll give you that half-smile. Not quite a grin, just enough to make you forget your next line. She laughs again, eyes bright. There's a lot of power in stillness, and Kevin knows it. He doesn't have to do much. Just be there, calm, grounded, present. He taught me that strength doesn't need to shout. Sometimes it just stands there and lets you feel every beat of it. Her next co-star, Josh Brolin, makes her expression shift into a grin of admiration. "Josh is pure energy," she says. "All instinct and grit. You feel it before he even says hello?" Remembering Jonah Hex, she leans back, eyes distant with nostalgia. He's unpredictable in the best way. He'll change the rhythm of a scene without warning. And suddenly, everything feels alive. You have to keep up or you'll get swept away. Her tone softens, but he's also incredibly kind. Between takes, he's joking, checking on everyone, making sure you're okay. That mix of danger and tenderness is rare. And magnetic. She pauses, smiling. There were moments we'd just look at each other and forget we were acting. That's when you know you're in the good territory. The space between trust and tension. Then comes Matt Dillon. Diane's smile turns nostalgic. "Matt takes me back," she says warmly. "We were just kids, really, trying to look like adults who knew what they were doing." She laughs. He had that quiet, cool everyone wanted in the 80s. leaning against a wall, saying nothing, and somehow owning the whole room. I tried to keep up, but I was hopelessly impressed. Her eyes sparkle with memory. He could make silence feel like dialogue. Just one look, and you'd forget your line. Even now, decades later, that presence hasn't faded. It's just matured. Matt's still got that same slow-burn charm. He's proof that some sparks don't fade. They just glow quieter over time. When Tom Cruise's name comes up, Diane bursts into laughter. Tom was pure momentum, she says. Even on The Outsiders, he had this energy that filled every corner of the set. You could tell he was going to be a star. He was always moving, talking fast, full of ideas, planning the next stunt before we'd even finished the first one. She shakes her head, smiling. It was contagious. You couldn't help but feed off it. And when he looks at you, really looks, it's like the rest of the world disappears. That kind of focus is dangerous, in the best way. He makes you believe in every moment, every line. She laughs softly. Working with Tom was like trying to keep up with lightning. You left the day a little lighter, a little faster, and definitely more awake than you planned to be. Finally, there's Christopher Lambert. Diane's smile turned soft, reflective. Christopher had that European mystery about him, calm on the surface, but full of hidden storms underneath. On night moves, we spent long nights working through emotional scenes. He had this quiet focus that made every silence feel charged, like you were sharing a secret without words. She smiles fondly. And that accent, it did half the work. He'd ask a question, and suddenly you'd forget your next line. She chuckles. Working with him was like a chess match. Every move deliberate, every look meaningful. But what I remember most was his generosity. He wanted the scene to breathe, to be honest. There's something powerful about a man who doesn't need to dominate a moment but still makes it unforgettable. Diane leans back, eyes glimmering with that same mischievous light she's carried her whole life. 6 men, she says with a grin. All unforgettable, all professional, and each one reminded me why I fell in love with acting in the first place. Because sometimes, she says, her voice dropping to a soft murmur, the chemistry is real. And the smartest thing you can do is stop right before you make the mistake you'll never forget.